Hello, hello, everybody. Looks like we're live. Hello, happy Monday, happy Memorial Day. Yeah, I'm here by the skin of my teeth. I just made it. I was not thinking at all. It felt like such a Sunday. The sun is shining. We're having a little picnic. And yeah, all right. So we are live and welcome to SoulPet. For those of you catching this live, I am here on very quick notice, on very short notice. I do have some things I really want to talk about. Immortality being one of them, telepathy the other. You guys, thank you for posting some of your questions. But first of all, in case you are new to the channel, this is SoulPet. We are here to support people who are going through healing after the loss of an animal companion or sharing their life with an animal companion that you are looking to be a better caregiver for, a better partner for. So I'm totally unprepared for this evening, but we are good. We are good. And hello, everybody. We're going to say hello. We'll jump in, talking to whoever can make it. I don't even know how many people will show up because I didn't get the newsletter out. Where was my head today? Haven't a clue, but it's all good. I look at things like this, like, the timing happens the way that the timing happens, and that's totally fine. So thanks for the love hearts, guys. Thanks for all your support. I am. We were just kind of sitting out, hanging around, having a little picnic, and fortunately, somebody said, "You know, Mom, like, don't you normally do something on Monday nights?" Oh yeah, I normally do something on Monday nights, and it is SoulPet. So tonight's topic is going to be about, a lot of it is going to be about telepathy. Both the topics of immortality and telepathy were rising up for me this weekend as I'm doing some research for a couple of different things. And I've been reading a book called America Before, and it's by Graham Hancock, and it is about the history of the Americas, ancient history of the Americas, as in there were megafauna and animals and civilizations and history here, ancient as Egypt. And it's really been intriguing me. I love that ancient history kind of thing. But also then I have really been diving deep into telepathic communication. I led a class yesterday, which really was Sunday. I led a small animal communication class where we talked about what it really means to have telepathic communication. And somebody sent me a video that really triggered me, and so I'm going to share that with you guys too. But first, let's say hello to everybody, and I will answer the questions that you've already posted for me. Thank you, because it's always a great way to kick things off. If you are new to the channel, we say hello to all the members. I answer your questions first, and then we usually dive into a topic that helps us through the healing process for those of us who have lost an animal companion, who has crossed to the other side, and also for those of us who have current animal companions. So, Sherry, you have company today, but you will try to join. Yeah, I'm glad I try to join my own live stream. Yes, everything is okay, Pat. I just was not on my calendar today. That's another thing I wrote down. As I realized my timing, and I realized that tonight is about the live stream, I try to get myself grounded and centered before coming on. And the other thing that came up for me was that animals have no sense of time. They don't follow a clock. They don't know the seasons, although intuitively there's that kind of thing, right? But they don't follow a calendar, and somehow they seem to manage just fine without that. So, so let's say hello first to Sherry and Pat. Hello, Robbie. Thanks, thanks. Yeah, that kind of a little bit. Take what you get today. Did I send out an email? Nope, already addressed that one. And yes, happy Memorial Day. I have a puppy at home, sort of on a trial run for Ozzy. Not sure my nerves can handle it. Well, especially if it's a puppy. Puppies are a whole unique breed. Thought it was Sunday too. Kathy, thank you. Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. Z, great to see you. Z, you have really been on my mind. And Pockets has been on my mind. So we'll talk about that. Cheryl, Ms. Nunya, New York business. How you doing? Yeah, I wasn't sure if today was happening or not either. Apparently, I wasn't sure of it either. Okay, Sharon, don't worry about being late because I almost wasn't here altogether. I could have sworn I saw a question from Pat earlier. Oh, there it is. Can our past pets be considered our guardian angels? No, there was another question there, I thought. When I look at my own life choices, did my pets direct me down a certain path? It's very possible. And yes, about guardian angels. So we'll come back to that in just a second, because I swear there was another question from you, Pat. Maybe I don't know. All right, well, let's finish saying hello to everybody. Kali, good to see you. Main concern is Ozzy and him adjusting and being okay. All right. And Sherry, why is your name not coming up as green? Coco, hello, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, hello, hello. All right, everybody, keep all puppies. Puppies can be a handful. All right, let's get started. I'm going to go back to Pat's question. Pat, man, I know. Oh, there it is. Have we known our pets in another lifetime? And so let's answer all these questions first, and because it really will help us dive into immortality. This is a great question for immortality and telepathy. And then I also want to remind everybody about this book that I absolutely love, because when we start talking about telepathy, Rupert Sheldrake is the guy who I would highly recommend that you check out when we talk about these kinds of things, because one of the things that came up for me, I was really triggered this weekend on on all kinds of levels. When people send me all kinds of emails, videos, messages on instant messenger, Facebook, Instagram, email. It's almost become overwhelming, as some of you know. I even had to start putting a little response on my email saying, I'm so sorry, I would love to be able to respond to all these emails. So for all my channel members, I try to get to your emails first. But I get all kinds of things. People send me videos that are hurtful, not on purpose. They do it, they think that they're being interactive and helping, but they send me videos of things that are very sad, and it triggers me a little bit. I try to be empathetic, but there are some videos about the fate of animals on our planet that hurt my heart. And then there are other ones, like the one that I was sent, someone recommended that I watch a show called The Seatbelt Psychic. Has anyone ever seen The Seatbelt Psychic? We're going to talk about that in a minute, because that really triggered me, The Seatbelt Psychic, and also the Telepathy Tapes, which is a podcast that I really love. I enjoy it, and we're going to talk more about that. So, but part of that has to do with, have we known our pets in another lifetime? And the answer to that question, Pat, is yes. We have known our pets through many lifetimes. We don't have just we know our pets currently in many lifetimes. It's not like we have past lives and future lives and a current life. It's almost as if all of the lives are being lived together in the theory of the multiverse theory, or the multiple worlds theory, where there are many, we exist in many places at the same time, and so do our animal companions. I think it's far more complicated than I can actually explain, because I am here in this physical existence, in this current existence on Earth, this version of Earth, and my animal companions who are with me now. But I know through meditation that I have different versions of myself, and I call on those versions of myself, and I talk to them and this is where, so for those of you watching the channel for the very first time, we try to talk about the practical and the ways that we can focus on helping ourselves heal right now. And we also dive deep into metaphysical. So if you're not necessarily into the woo-woo and the hairy-fairy, we dive deep into the metaphysical, but I always try to provide resources. So I don't just like pull this out of the air and say, this is the way it is. I study things, I look at things, I read things. I have more books than I can count. I listen to more books than I can count. Sometimes I listen to the book and read it at the same time. I try to get as much information, and then I do a lot of meditation. And through my meditation, what I am attempting to do is access information that I know we all have access to. And there are many academics, because we place some value on academia. There are many academics now who are starting to study this also. So I try to pull in for you as much evidence as I possibly can to help you know that the things that I'm saying are not just made up, that we have access to more information than we think that we do, more information than just books. And from accessing information that I learn from books, that I learn from videos, that I learn from academia, that I learn from doing my meditation, I understand that it is much more complex. It's not much more complicated. It's just more than we can wrap our human minds around. So this is a long answer to a short question. We know our pets on multiple levels. And when we are so bereft here in this physical world, one of the ways that we can focus on healing is to understand that we haven't lost them. We may not have their physical presence with us here at this moment. And we're going to talk about one of the reasons that we feel that loss, which I've mentioned many times, that sense of loss is so strong because that particular soul knows us on a soul level and is so unconditionally accepting of who we are that when they leave us in this existence, we feel like we have lost something, but we haven't lost them because we continue to know them on many levels. And just a small piece of our soul resides in this physical body. The greater piece of us is out there exploring other things, doing other things with our animal companion right by our side. And their energetic soul remains here with us. It is multidimensional. So us and them are existing on many different dimensional levels. They can still be here supporting us energetically through their spirit and their energy and their soul while they are still exploring other things. So that's a very complicated answer to a short question. The answer is yes. And I appreciate those questions. Keep posting those kinds of questions. I even want skeptical questions because it encourages me to dive in deeper and exploring this even more, because there is more to us than meets the eye. That's all of us. There's more to us than meets the eye. Do our current animals that are sick, or even the ones that have transitioned, understand that we're trying to help them through health issues? That's another complicated question, Sherry. They do understand. They understand that we are doing the best we can with what we have at this moment in time, and that we would do anything and everything for them. And that's when some of the hard decisions come up. I'm working with a beautiful dog right now, an aging senior dog named Sinatra. And Sinatra is soon to be transitioning. He has reached a very ripe old age. And the question comes up, when do I make the decision too soon? How do I know that I shouldn't keep continuing extensive medical care? How do I make these decisions? What if I don't have the money? So a lot of it comes down to financial. What if I don't have the money? What if I don't have the means? What am I supposed to do? How do I, all of that, our animal companions are more than understanding. They know they're extensions of the greater source, the greater soul that is part of all of us. They're part of that, and they know. They have come here frequently as teachers, frequently as guides, as guardian angels. They have many different roles, and different animals come into our life at different times to help us with different things. And they know that we are trying to assist them. And the animals that transition to the other side, they don't take with them the way in which they transition. This is for all souls, whether they're human, whether they're four-legged or have fins or feathers. They don't take with them the manner in which they transition. It's not important. It's not relevant to them. So when they do transition to the other side, they're not looking back on, well, why didn't you do something different? That's not the way it works at all. They become, they transition back into pure positive love, and they transition back into their full higher self. And from that place, there's nothing that they question. There's nothing that they second guess. There's nothing that they wonder about. Animals here in the present, it's a little bit different because the animals who live with us right now, those animal companions are experiencing life the way that we experience it. Even though they are four-legged, whether it's a cat, a dog, a horse, a goat, two-legged, a chicken, those animal companions are going through a different phase of life because they're in the physical, and they are often helping us to become better. We talk about this often, to become better stewards for future animals in our life. So yes, they know that we are trying to help them through health issues, but their health issues may be also trying to help us understand how to be better companions, how to give them better nutrition. I'll give you an example. So Sinatra's human, a kitty cat recently passed. And when that kitty cat passed, they had gone through extensive medical care, right up till the very end, extensive medical care for that kitty cat. And in the end, kitty cat transitioned anyway. So the human companions understand now, they have a whole different perspective about their doggy and what kind of care they would like to at hospice versus hospital care. So it teaches us to be better. It teaches us to get better. Every single animal, I've said this just last week, every single animal that has come into my life since my very first childhood dog, Peanuts, right up through Gypsy right now, every single animal, it's become a better experience. It's become a better relationship. I have become a better steward. I've become a better partner and a better caregiver because of the experience, including all the health experiences that I've gone through with my other animal companions, including the beautiful Lucy, who just today, after I had a very brief, as I went down through the telepathy thing, I had a very brief, I wouldn't call it a crisis of faith, but I questioned something significantly. And I right away, as soon as I began to question, I reached out to Lucy, who is on the other side, and said, just show me a sign. Remind me of what I know to be true. And don't you know now, I didn't get any shirt, no big shirt that says Sweet Lucy. I didn't get my neon sign, but I have these books. They're all lined up right here. And I know it's weird, but I have my books organized by color. if, if that tells you anything about me, I have my books organized by color, and the red pile of books tipped over completely. I turned on a fan, the whole pile of red books tips over, and this is the book that comes out on top. Dogs Who Know When Their Owners Are Coming Home. And I was like, okay, thanks, Lucy. Thanks for the reminder. Because this book, and there's others like it. This guy is amazing. He's written several things. Has some validation, including like studies of animals who know when animals are telepathic. And if animals are telepathic, we are animals also, just human animals. We're also telepathic. All right, let's keep going on with those questions. Can our past pets be considered our guardian angels? Yes. Everybody has a little bit different belief, and I don't ever want to judge about anybody's different spiritual or religious beliefs, either one. Some people have very strong organized religious beliefs. Other people are very, like myself, very spiritual. Other people are agnostic or atheist and have no beliefs about this whatsoever, which is all just fine. We're all on the journey. We're just all walking each other home, right? So guardian angels, they are our guardians. They are our partners, our teachers. I believe that as guardian angels, do they protect us? Yes. Do they help us? They're there just to be with us. They're there to help us. I'm trying to think of the right word that I'm looking for. Not so much protect, but just to be by our side and help us in our decision making, help us navigate. There we go. Help us navigate through all this. We are in a very physical existence with all kinds of things going on. And we have lots of external things in our world. Why are they here? I don't know. We can have a really deep philosophical conversation about why we're in the state that we are in our world. But our animals are here to help guide us. They're here to help. They're here to be our guides, to be our guardian angels, to be our teachers, to be our partners, to be our soulmates. So yeah, they are here to be guardian angels. And they also have guardian angels, and we are guardian angels for others that we aren't even aware of. We aren't even aware how much. Pat, do you know how much of a guardian angel you are for me every once in a while? Think about that. Without even thinking about it, when you post a question, it's like, or that reminds me of something that we want to talk about, or that somebody needs to hear. That's being somebody's guardian angel. So we all have that capacity, and yes, our animals are that. When I look at my life choices, did my pets direct me down a certain path? Well, that's one thing that directed you, was your animal companions. They directed you down a certain path. You made certain decisions because they were part of your life, and they continue to guide us in that way. I believe that our animals are very good spiritual teachers and good partners. And when I are I'm trying to, so the where I'm trying to go with that is that destiny. I don't believe in like a fixed destiny. There's a destiny that Pat, you came into this life as a guy. Elaine, you came into this life as a woman. We're born in America, which I found to be very telling as I'm looking at this book, America Before. But we have free will and we make choices throughout our life, and those choices, sometimes we don't know if we're making the right choice or not. And I think our animals do guide us in making those decisions. Okay, let's see. What else have I got here? Who did I miss saying hello to? Dana, it's good to see you. Practice sending messages to animals here still in the physical. I'm feeling replies coming as energy, but I can't understand. What should I do? All right. Dana, grab your, this is my magic pen. It's a plain old Bic pen and a plain old notebook. This is what I do. I write down everything. And even if it's just, so yesterday I taught, I'll post this for you guys. Yesterday, I taught a course on animal communication. So connecting with animals here in this physical world. And I call it Soul Speak. And the method that I taught them was something called the Heart Way. I'm just going to read this to you guys. I have my little cheat, the little handout that I gave to them yesterday. Animals and all of nature are speaking to us all the time, but they don't necessarily speak English. They speak feeling, they speak vibration. And we are not often able to translate fully the messages that we think or the messages we are receiving from them. So I write down everything. I write down the feelings, I write down sensations, I write down if I've even just felt a sense of relief in my heart. I write everything down, and then I go back and look at it later. And you can continue conversations like this. When we have conversations with God, I'll just say that our animal companions are part of this greater source, the divine, the creator, whatever you want to call it. And when we talk to them, animals here in the physical. So if I was going to talk to Gypsy right now today, I'm getting those messages not just from her as a dog, but from her as a soul, and who exists just like we do. We're so much. You guys know this. You know there's so much more to you than anybody else ever sees. There's so much more inside of me than anybody ever sees. We're very deep, and our animals are the same way. So they may be sharing information that we're not able to interpret. So you can write it down and you can ask follow-up questions. What did that mean? Today, like there was a part of me earlier today that was feeling a little funky, and what I go for that. I'm like, okay, I feel it. I'm not feeling right. Something doesn't feel like it's aligned. Why do I have that feeling? You can ask for more information. You can ask for follow-up. So that's what I would do, Dana. And Dana, I know that you're in the class that's coming up. We're going to talk much more deeply about soul speak animal communication and how to use your heart and how to understand the messages that are coming through. But telepathic communication is part of what I wanted to say. Animals and nature are speaking to us all the time. We can communicate best by listening first. Telepathic communication doesn't happen through our head. It happens through our heart. Communication between species is natural. So it's a learning experience, Dana. We are figuring it out. It's like being traveling to a country where for me, if I were to travel to China or Korea, I would know absolutely nothing. So like I can figure some things out when I hear Spanish. I can figure a little bit out when I hear Italian. When I hear a completely foreign language to me, I haven't a clue. So it's going to take me a while to get used to what the message is that's trying to come through. So love and heart-centered communication is the key to everything. And love, as I've said many times, it's not romantic love. It is that love that is the fabric of the universe, that it's the universal language. And that's how we can start to understand the things that come through. Okay, that was super quick. Very tippity tip of the iceberg for animal communication. Jen from Manila, it's good to see you. Oh, Leica. Oh, Jen, it's so nice of you to mention Leica. I know that it makes you cry, but look, everybody's saying hello to you. But we are all here. We are all here with you and giving you a giant virtual hug. A Libra with the matching books by color. That's hilarious. So I also volunteer at the wildlife center. and I'm learning how to serve the food to the different animals. And one of the animals that I'm assigned to is a turtle. And so I'm cutting up all this food for the turtle. And I have this little dish that little Twiggy gets. And I put a little bit of cherries and I had like all the food organized by color. and the animal care person said, a turtle doesn't eat their food by color, and mixed it all up. Anywho, so that must be my Libra thing coming through. Okay, let's see what else I got. An emotional mess. Maybe that's why I don't feel her. Okay, Jen, let's talk about that. Sometimes when we are deep in our emotion, it does make it more difficult, not for them to get through, but for us to receive when we are deep in the emotion. But here's what I think about that. I think that we are often meant to feel those emotions. So I wrote down as I'm scrambling to decide what we're going to talk about today, without doing my meditation like I normally do today. Also, one of the things that I wrote down is that it was about time, that animals don't pay attention to a clock. They don't pay attention to a calendar. They live in the now. And we don't often live in the now. And one of the reasons that we feel so sad is because we are living in the future. We are looking at a future without our animal companion by our side, and that makes us even sadder. If we could just live in the now, embrace the emotion that we feel, and know that over time, with them as our guides, that we will start to heal, then that emotion starts to heal, and then they can start to come through. But yes, we get so caught up in our emotion that we don't hear them. So then when we can feel the emotion, feel it, just feel it, let it flow, and don't judge yourself that you're feeling even worse because then you can't get through to them. It's okay. Just let it go. You feel it and feel it and feel it, and you can ask them to help you find a moment of relief. That's all you need, is one moment of relief. And you go, oh, okay, I have a moment of relief. And guess what that is? That's them coming through to you. When you feel that, that is them coming through to you. And little by little, you've opened a crack in the door, and she'll be able to open it even wider. And it's okay. We have good and bad days. Every single person on here. Hi, Donna. Oh, good. I'm seeing all these people jump on now that I didn't see earlier. Everybody who comments here, and even the people who watch who don't comment, I know that they feel the same thing. We have all felt this, and we will virtually wrap you in a hug to help you find that moment of relief. We've all felt the loss in such a challenging way, in such a difficult way, that the emotions were so strong. So let us virtually hug you. Let us hold you right now. You just lean into those emotions. Let us hold you, and you'll feel that moment of relief, and know that Lake is right by your side, hugging you right along with us. Okay, let's continue. It's okay to cry. Yep, everybody here will hold you. Cry as much as you need to. We're so connected to our animal babies, and we're going to talk more about that. So at peace when sitting on my deck looking at wildlife. Me too. And I think that was part of my funk today. I realized that I have not been outdoors enough. And I love my wildlife. I love to see deer. I got up this morning at 7:30 in the morning because I just wanted to be outside. I saw a deer. I saw a turkey. I just love the wildlife. So yeah, wildlife is also a great way. Thanks for bringing that up, Pat, because wildlife can step in to be our partners. When we're feeling that kind of loss, we can welcome any animal to help us. We can ask for their help. We can ask for their support, and they'll help us find that sense of relief too. A charcuterie board for a turtle. That's what I was doing. Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool. He has a nice little dish. Or Twiggy's a she, actually. She has this nice little dish, and I thought I had everything all nice and compartmentalized. Yeah, that's what I was doing, the charcuterie board. That's cute. Kali. Maybe the turtle appreciates it. Who knows? Maybe the turtle doesn't eat by color because nobody ever offered, right? Maybe I was inspired to offer the turtle as food by color. Well, what the animal care person explained to me was that turtles, much like children, will eat only the colored food first. So they'll go right for it. Why are my lights flickering? Do you guys see that? Don't know why that's going on. Somebody's trying to come through. The turtles will eat only the fruit first. So they'll eat their fruit and then they won't eat the greens. So we should mix the fruit into the greens to make sure they eat their vegetables. That was the reasoning I got. Okay. All right, let's continue then. I think that got to all the questions. Look like a TV light. No, yeah, but there's no. What is that? I don't know why it's flickering. Don't know why it's flickering. Maybe it'll come through to me as we're talking. So let's talk about what I think the topic should be for tonight. And I wanted to look up a picture of Gary. I wrote Gary's name down here. I was going to look up a picture of Gary, and I didn't do it. That's okay. That's okay. Everything will come in its own time. Let's talk about the #1 podcast in 2025 is something called the Telepathy Tapes. I don't know if anybody watches it or has been Gary and Potato visiting. If you smell a fart, you'll know Potato's there too. Gary, yeah, it must be Gary visiting. Look, here. There's Gary's name right there. I wanted to look up a picture of Gary to use as part of my explanation for tonight, and I just didn't have a chance to do it. So that's okay. We're gonna take this as Gary saying, I'm here, even though you didn't look at my picture. I'm right here. All right. So the telepathy tapes. Let me know if send hearts or something if anybody has watched the telepathy tapes. It's a podcast. Listened to the telepathy tapes or watched it. I'm a YouTube person. I don't do a lot of like Spotify or anything, but I do my YouTube. And the telepathy tapes was brought to my attention by somebody else a while back, and now I've listened to a few of them. They're fascinating. The telepathy tapes are somebody who I can't think of her name. Kit David. Can't think of the woman's name who does the telepathy tapes. But what she does is seek out people who have a family member with or something, who've had an actual telepathic experience, and a lot of it has to do with children on the autism scale, and that these children seem to have more of a connection telepathically, mind-to-mind communication. I prefer heart-to-heart communication. A communication that doesn't occur through traditional means like by writing or with our mouth, and that the communication they receive is validated. So they tell these stories about validated, but it's still anecdotal telepathic communication. And a lot of it is stories. So a parent explains what happened with a child, or a series of parents tell what happened with a group of children. That was one of the most fascinating ones, was a group of autistic children that would communicate together. But the only evidence we have is the story that the parents were telling. And that's why somebody brought it up to me, that is it really true? Are these things true? Because no one has witnessed it. We only have these stories. But there was once a witness. I'm going to, it looks like it's coming from in front of you, the blinking light. Don't know. Let it keep blinking, whatever it is. It might be. You never know, because I sit in front of a window. It could be cars passing by, like that's what it was last time also. So anecdotal. It's all anecdotal evidence and not actual evidence of people witnessing this telepathic communication. So then somebody else tells me that I need to watch this show on TV. I get these all the time, but I think sometimes it really resonates with me. So I had to watch Seatbelt Psychic. You think it's on the shelf. You guys. Wait, I'm going to turn them off. That way we can not be distracted. It doesn't want to turn off. There we go. It could also be I love my colored lights. So oh yeah, look at that. That one's back there changing too. Oh well, Gary wants to be heard loud and clear. So we'll just live with it. We'll just go with it. Telepathy tapes and Seatbelt Psychic. If anybody has never heard of that show, you guys should check it out. The telepathy tapes. #1 podcast in 2025 so far. The other one is the Seatbelt Psychic, and it was the Seatbelt Psychic that really annoyed me. The Seatbelt Psychic annoyed me. The telepathy tapes are interesting. They're fascinating. The stories are fascinating. They're real people telling stories about what they feel to be actual telepathic communication. The Seatbelt Psychic, as soon as I saw it, the moment that I saw it, I knew instantly that it was not real. I just knew that it had to be scripted. The whole thing just seemed fake, fake, fake. And I hate that because it gives a really, not bad name, but it makes people disbelieve in the ability for us to connect with souls on the other side, whether it's person or animal. I think Deepak Chopra said he witnessed one of the telepathy tape cases. So Donna, what he said, let's answer that real quick and I'll come back to Seatbelt Psychic, who just annoyed me. Oh boy. Guys, why? Why is my camera? Maybe I can make it like, all right. Who knows? Who knows? I know, right, Cheryl? What the actual? What the heck? All right, so bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to force it to come back on. Oh, well, we got to go with it. I can't. I have to find a crew. Somebody tell me where I find people who know how to do videos. I wonder if it'll come back if I sit back further. Now it's real. Now, look at that. That worked. Okay. The camera's trying to focus on whatever's, yeah, right, whatever's flickering the light. That's all right. You get what you get with me. That's all there is to it. What you see is what you get. Back to Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra did not witness one of the things on the telepathy tapes. What he did was witness his own version of the telepathy tapes. So Deepak Chopra is a spiritual teacher. I would call him a spiritual teacher. He's fairly well known. He was so funny the other night. I mean, I saw a thing of when he was being interviewed on Jimmy Fallon. It was quite amusing. Saying that the leader of our country just needed a big hug. But what he witnessed was when he first began his own spiritual journey. All of us are on a spiritual journey. He was a medical doctor. And when you are, should I turn that one off too? Maybe that'll help things here. Where I did with my other, I have multiple remotes. I have multiple lights. I'm going to try to make this camera work. But Deepak Chopra was contacted by a woman who said, my son can read my mind. And he was studying neurology, and he was studying the brain, and he really wanted to get a sense of whether or not this was true or what was behind it, that kind of thing. So he videoed this. He videoed it. It is available on his website. He just puts it out there for everybody to see. And it was a child on the spectrum, and the child could read the mother's mind. So if the mother was in another room reading a book, the child was typing whatever the mother was reading in the other room. And it's all recorded and videoed. So that's the kind of evidence that we want. Anecdotal evidence is wonderful. It's so much of what we have is anecdotal, but to have actual evidence. So he recorded this, and the young boy was literally understanding everything that his mother was reading. And Deepak Chopra in the interview afterwards said to the little boy, how do you do it? And the young boy said, well, I just love my mom so much that I can hop into her mind and I know what she's thinking. And it was said with such innocence and such truth. I just love my mom so much that I know what she's thinking. That's the secret right there. That is the secret right there. That's why I say telepathy happens with our heart and not with our head. Because when we can actually infuse our communication with love, Dana, this is going to be a big thing when we talk about the animal communication and in the animal Reiki and communication class. When we can let go of all the external things that are constantly bombarding us and focus solely on love, that's when the communication happens in a way that we can understand, and in a way that it's very clear to us and very obvious to us that we're receiving this communication. It happens when we communicate from a place of love. Okay, so that was Deepak Chopra. Extra energy around you tonight. I know. I could just chalk it up to technology, but I suspect that when this stuff happens, it's when all of the animals are like lining up with all their energy to come through here. So as I'm looking at the seatbelt psychic, who was clearly a phony baloney, I don't want to discount. I don't want him to be fake. I want him to be real. I want him to be real. And he has this show, the Seatbelt Psychic, has a ton of viewers, a ton of followers. Why? Because we want it to be real. We want this type of connection to be real. And people who are doing it fake are discounting all of us who do it for real. And I don't do it because I want to be on TV. I don't need to be Tyler Henry. I don't need to be the Long Island Medium. And there are so many people like me who are able to make these connections with animals on the other side, or with any soul on the other side, and we just share it. I found out there's another medium here in my town who does that, in my local area, who does this internationally. Her name is Medium Kathleen. I've got to find out where she is exactly, but it's the same thing. It's like, we don't do it for fame and fortune. We do it because we want to be able to help people. We know how much people want to connect with their loved ones on the other side. But here's why I do this even more, because I want you to make that connection. Every single person is capable of this. Every single person is able to make these connections. And when you let go of the doubt, when you let go of the questioning, when you let go of the fake ones who are doing it for money, you'll be able to do this, and you'll be able to receive the message. Like Dana's trying, right? Dana, I know so many of you, every single person who comments on these videos, it has either made a connection, is attempting to make a connection, will always be learning to make connections with our animal companions on the other side. And it doesn't take a brain injury, and it doesn't take being autistic, and it doesn't take those things may encourage an experience, but we can learn how to do it on our own because it's a natural state of being. We are naturally able to communicate. All animals are communicating. All of nature is communicating all the time, and we're able to make those connections. So it really irritated me to watch the Seatbelt Psychic, and then of course I had to Google it, and I'm looking for all the proof that I wanted somebody to say, no, it's real, it's real. No, it's fake, it's fake. Anywho, let me look at the comments real quick. Wait, please tell me you spoke of that last week about the child and the mother. Oh, I might have because it's been on my mind. I've been following these telepathy tapes now for a week, and here's the way that the algorithms work. When you watch one video, you end up watching 5 videos all about the same topic. And so I'm watching Mayim Bialik is the one who interviewed Deepak Chopra. And then after she interviewed Deepak Chopra, she interviewed another gentleman. I can list all the names for you, or you can just go look up Mayim Bialik. And then I watched another one this morning, and they all reference back to Deepak Chopra because not very many people attempt to document these things. And we're looking for documentable cases of telepathic communication. So that's why, and here's the other thing, part of the reason why I knew that this guy on Seatbelt Psychic was so fake, because he got everything right. Like everything he said. There's clearly editing. That's the one thing, right? So it's on TV. There's clearly editing. It's like watching Magician on television. Seriously. It's called the edit. They edit it, right? But he got everything right. And I would say, based on even my connections with your animal companions, if I have a 50-50, I feel good. I get a whole lot of stuff that I don't understand and that doesn't make sense. Sometimes I get more wrong than I get right, but I don't discount those things. I don't discount anything. The things that you guys validate for me is wonderful, and it makes me know that we're connected. But the things that don't make sense, it's so funny how eventually they make sense. Like it's crazy that the things that don't make sense eventually make sense. So you've got to be able to trust that if you're a person that you're making this connection for says that really doesn't make much sense to me, right, Donna? Right, I think Donna, right, with the brown trucks. We didn't make the connection. I think it was you. I'm pretty sure, right, Donna? Correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't make the connection right away. It was like 2 weeks later before the brown trucks. Let me just check out Kali's comment real fast. Periodically hear about people in the military. Many years ago were taught how to do remote viewing. Not a lot of detail on it. Sign up for the class. Oh yeah, you guys. I posted the link in the. I posted the link in the. I think they call it posts now. It used to be called community. Now they call it posts. There's a link, and for members only, you guys get a special little things, a special little discount. So make sure that you sign up for it. So remote viewing. Remote viewing is a little bit different. And yes, the military did work with remote viewers, and remote viewing is one of those things that would be like being a classical pianist. So I could play chopsticks, but I can't play like a concerto. It's the same kind of someone who's very, very skilled at being able to remote view. And remote view means that you can go into your mind and visualize something in another place. And it takes a little bit of skill and practice, but it's a skill that can be taught. I am able to connect with animals on the other side. For me, that is it's what works for me. I'm able to do it. I have tried the remote viewing thing, and I've played with it, but I've never really like practiced it. And I know there's some people who will teach it. They'll teach remote viewing, but I'll see if I can find out some more information on that for you. But remote viewing means being able to close your eyes and place yourself into another, being able to see something in another place and explain it with detail. And yes, the military used it because they wanted to spy. They wanted to know this. They wanted to know that. And there's some documentaries on that also, usually conspiracy theory documentaries, but they do have some interesting information. You were thinking deja vu. We just did a deja vu too. No, I probably mentioned it last week. Check the comments real quick. What you said from Logan have all made sense, right? So Pat, right, there are some cases. Logan is one of them. There was another dog named Whiskey. I can name a couple of Kuda was another one where almost everything was accurate, and I can only it must have just been a very clear connection that I have with those particular animals. And sometimes it's not as clear for me. I just want to go back and check. Astro Bubbers, good to see you. Okay. Oh yeah, the UPS trucks. All right, Donna. Good. So right, that didn't make sense. What came through was brown trucks, or did I say brown? I don't remember. But anyway, turned out to be UPS trucks, and we didn't connect the dots until a couple weeks later. And hi, Judy. How are you? Lori Williams teaches remote viewing. Way to advance. So Maggie always saw them and can't believe oh yeah, right. Right. I get it. I get it. It's total. So I don't discount anything that comes through, but a lot of things don't make sense. And that's how I know that it's real though. That's how I know that it's real. I'm going to just say from Judy, she says, Lori Williams teaches remote viewing, but it's a little bit too advanced. That's why we start with, if you were learning a musical instrument, you would start with scales. We start with do. We start with 2 fingers, and then we learn how to play. So you start learning, and then you keep going. It's why I never stop learning and looking for information. I read everything, and why I keep looking at everything and learning everything and practicing and playing. I practice myself. I practice today talking to the turkey. I'm talking to a turkey, letting him know that he's loved, letting him know to cross the road safely, let him know to stay in the grass, don't come out of the grass. Yeah. And we keep on practicing, we keep on learning. And the more we practice, the better we get. And the more often we practice, the better we get. Like a swimmer in the Olympics, they don't just dive into the pool. They practice every single day, and they keep working at it, and they keep making it their talent. So it can be learned. All right, let's see where I was going with this. That everybody. Why do we have all the viewers of a show like Seatbelt Psychic? It's because everybody wants that connection. Everybody wants it so desperately. We are so afraid that when life is over, it's the end. It's just over. And the animals are the ones, Lucy in particular, my beautiful Lucy is the one who taught me that it is so not over. And then every single animal that I've connected with since her crossing, um, I, I just know that I now know that life continues far beyond what this little physical existence is. And when we think of the scope of the universe, our little third rock from the sun is just one fraction of the whole entire universe. Think of everything that is out there, and that's just the physical universe that extends forever and ever and ever. It is infinite. And when we can connect with our animal, we want it so desperately because we want to know that things continue. We want to know that our loved ones are still there. We want to know that that we don't. I'm trying to say this without sounding too weird. We don't have to die ourselves in order to keep that connection, in order to keep that relationship, that we have access to them all the time. And so we get drawn to those shows, and we say, oh my gosh, do that for me. Let me connect with my, and then for me, it's the other way around. I go like, I want to see that. I want to be that person. I want to know what Grandpa Jones is thinking. I want to know what that, and then I realized, wait, I do know that, and so do you. We all have this ability, and all we all want. And also the reason why we feel so strongly about loss. We just want to be loved. We want to be loved for who we are. Our animals gave us unconditional love. And there's one more piece of that I didn't get to explore, and I will have to bring it up for another time, was the neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity, I've talked about a couple times before, where your brain is wired in a certain way. And we now know that it's not an old dog can't learn new tricks. It's the other way around. We can constantly rewire our brain over time. And when our animal companions come into our life with unconditional love, our brain latches onto that like heroin. It literally becomes ingrained in us, that unconditional love, and it becomes part of who we are, and they're with us every day, and they are such a physical and emotional part of our life that when they transition to the other side, our brain doesn't know what to do with that. Our brain then, it's like going cold turkey, and our brain does not know how to handle that, and our emotions just go crazy. So we can learn to rewire our brain in a way that tells us we are still connected with them, that the love isn't gone, that love is not lost, the unconditional love is still there. And that's why these Monday videos, and why I watch a lot of the videos that I watch, it's because it rewires our brain the way that we need it to be, the way that we can, to know that we can be wired for unconditional love forever and ever. But I haven't quite fleshed all that out yet, but I just wrote it down in my little notes. Unconditional love, we can rewire our brain for immortality. I start to call that the video of this. I think I put, our animals immortal? And the answer is yes, our animals are immortal. Immortal means that their life continues on forever and ever, just not in a physical body. Who would want their physical body to continue on forever and ever? When I think about my 16-year-old body versus my 60-something-year-old body, and what my body's going to be when I'm 100, perhaps it is okay that I come back again in a different body, but our soul is immortal. We aren't in this body. We are, what do you call that when we inhabit the body, but we are not in the body. We are not located. Us, who I am, is not in this body. I am animating. I'm animating this particular body at this moment in time. And when I look at my father, when my father crossed, his body was left behind, but his soul, oh my gosh, his soul went out and gloriously. Nana, oh, Nana, when I see her in every sunset, I just see her everywhere. I know that their spirit continues. So, yes, our animal companions are immortal, and we are immortal too. Let me check the comments real quick. I tried to talk to tadpoles. Why not? I talk to mosquitoes. You can talk to flies. Oh, you guys, when you take the animal communication class and animal Reiki class, be prepared. Every single creature will start to come into your experience, including spiders and flies and mosquitoes. Get in my net, I will save you. Otherwise, you will get dumped in the ground by my hubby. Okay, that is so true. I say that to flies. I say it to spiders. You need to go because the last thing I want is for my husband to step on you. Please, you need to go. Or I once had to sleep in a basement with a spider, a big old spider up in the corner. And I simply said to the spider, you stay there, I'll stay here, and we'll both be fine. So you can talk to any living thing. You can talk to water. We talked about this before. You can talk to water. You can talk to trees. You can talk to the grass. You can talk to the wind. You can talk to rain. You can talk to snow. You can talk to birds. Interspecies communication is what I've started calling this. It is more than interspecies communication. We sell ourselves short on what we are capable of. We hold ourselves back. And it's time to let go. It's time to step into your superpowers and be everything that you're capable of being. And don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It's a shame because I was watching one of the psychic busters, the guy who was saying how fake seatbelt psychics was, and he was so adamant about any of these extrasensory abilities as being completely fake. And I thought, oh boy, there's somebody who needs a hug. There's somebody who doesn't realize just how much power he really has. And because it can make our life even better. We can live such a higher quality of life. Not that we're not living a high quality of life, but we can start making all the right decisions. We can start leaning on our animal companions. We can start leaning on our other loved ones who have crossed to the other side to help us make decisions that lead us on a path that is the easy street, that lead us on a path of ease and grace and calm and peace, and let go of all the stress. Let go of all the stress. We are way too stressed out. Yeah. Wait, what are we laughing at? In the past, it took several days struggling to get them. I love tadpoles. All right. All right. So I'm not sure, whatever. Okay. We're all talking about the tadpoles. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves. In the military. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kali is in the military. Ocean Lee, it's good to see you. Talk to the chirping birds. I don't care if my neighbors think I'm crazy. I don't care if anybody thinks I'm crazy anymore. Because I know, and it's just become so amazing to be able to connect with all these animals. I love every last minute of it, and can't believe how much time I wasted sitting behind a desk in corporate. Even when I'm kind of glad today that I didn't get my newsletter out, because usually Mondays are spent staring at my computer screen, and it felt really good to be outside and having the sunshine on me and enjoying some family time. Let's see what else I've got on my notes here. And we're getting to the hour, but okay. Astro Bubbers, I'm going to read your comments real quick. Wait, Cheryl, I have a question regarding something you said last week about letting your father see the mountains through your eyes. Just want to ask, doesn't your dad see them already for himself? That is a great question. When we transition to the other side, let's see, how can I best phrase this? We come into our physical bodies because we want to experience a physical thing with physical senses. When we transition back to the other side, we do not have all of this. We have access to so much more. We can do anything. There's nothing off limits. We can't even think of the limits. We don't know what we don't know. We can't even think of the potential that is in the universal field that we transition to when we leave the physical body. But as far as and I was just reading this thing that said there's 15 senses, and I have to go back and find out what they are. But for these physical senses that we are taught about, our eyes, our ears, the smell, the taste, the touch, there is not that on the other side. From what I understand, and only going from what I know from my animal companions, and yeah, we don't have the same, what's the word? Tactile. We don't have the same tactile experiences. And so when I let him see through my eyes, it's the same as when a doggy shares a soul with another doggy to smell the grass, to taste the food, to touch things. Yeah, we don't have the same physical senses, which is why we come here to experience the density. We come here to experience this, and then we transition and float off into the sky. And no, we don't have that. Ask for a sign in threes. I did what you said. Ask for a sign in threes. I asked my guides, did Buck come back to me and Bradley? I asked for 3 dragonflies. Next day I saw 2 on a wire. Looked right, and there was the 3rd. Okay. That's the other thing. Also, we can co-create. We can co-create those kinds of signs. So if I'll get something, an animal companion will say, look for threes, or it could be anything. We can specifically say, I would love to receive a shooting star. Please, can we create together a shooting star, and then watch for the shooting star and trust that it's going to happen. So when you saw the 2, you trusted that you would see the 3rd, and that's the way that we co-create those signs together. What I'm trying to do is help a kitty cat who is afraid to go inside in her house, and she's living in the bushes, and another one who's lost, and I want to guide her back to her family. Cats are tricky that way. I'm just going to let you know that cats have minds of their own, and they are the ones who will, when you try to bring a stray cat into the house, that they'll let you know where it is they want to be. Sometimes they love it. Sometimes you can bring a stray cat into the house. They will be so happy. They'll be so grateful, and they'll cuddle and snuggle and be so warm and cozy. Other times they're like, get me out of here. I can't stand the 4 walls. So you just play with that a little bit. Know that they can be different that way. You can guide an animal companion back to their home. You just simply, now they don't look, when we talk about animal communication, you can't say, you need to go back to 123 Cherry Street. You live in the house with the white fence. You have to think about it from their perspective. If you're thinking about it from the perspective of a cat, think about what it's like to be a cat. What it's like to be down low to the ground, what it's like to have fur, what do their feet feel, what do they smell, what do they sense, what might their house have smelled like. You can, and then you can guide them back home. Most cats know exactly where they lived, so you can guide them back there. Talk to Buckley every day. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. All right, Fatima, since my soul dog passed and I started believing her soul and everyone's soul lives on, started talking to your grandma who passed 7 years ago. I say good morning and good night every day. I do. I talk to my dad out loud. I talk to Nana out loud. I talk to my animals out loud. Jack and Lucy, I talk to them out loud all the time. All the time. That I say their names at least half a dozen times a day. Jack and Lucy. And they're like one dog now. I'm curious how they appear to him or anyone else on the other side. Oh, I don't have that answer necessarily. So here's what I do. And what Cheryl's asking about is, I mentioned that when I stood at the top of a mountain, and this was at the top of a mountain, and I saw this beautiful, you could just see the mountains, and they were like purple mountain majesty, and the sun was setting, and it was magnificent. And I knew that it was something my father a sight that he would love to see. And I just literally gave permission to view through my eyes. And I tried to step back from my own sight, and I just looked around and allowed him to see everything, to take it all in. And I don't know what he saw, just like I don't know what you even see. None of us knows what each other sees. What I think is green might not be what you think is green. we don't have the ability to know what each other actually sees, what something tastes like to when somebody says bite an orange, my orange might not taste like your orange, which is why I might love it and you don't love it. But what it did, I felt his presence within me. And that's what for me, that's what I wanted more than anything. I felt his presence within me. He got to see whatever it was that through his vision, what he would see. But for me, there was this shared moment where I knew that that his soul and I and mine were so closely connected. I tried with the frozen water asking questions if there was something, but nothing clear, like yes or no. We're going to talk more about the water. I have a Friday morning group, and we've been playing with the water, and I don't have my cell phone anywhere near me. We're gonna have to shelve that for next time. And look, we're already over. I could keep talking all night long. I was freezing water and talking to water, and water. Look at this. I've drawn hearts on my glass. I have it underneath as well. Water is alive. Water has consciousness. We can talk more about exactly everything that does have consciousness. Everything is a form of consciousness. But there's something about water that it's very, very alive. And when we can talk to it, when we can take it into us with love, we can send messages to it. We can ask it to send messages to us. But I took a little petri dish and I filled it with water and I had it set on top of a flower. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. I had it set on top of a feather, and when I put it in the freezer, the whole outline of the feather was over in the corner of the glass. The wildest thing I've ever seen. So I know that there's a way that we can communicate with water, but that I also need more practice with that before I start sharing more on that. Okay, my friends, we've been going for a solid hour now. Look at that, without even an agenda tonight. We went through some stuff. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. Everyone have a beautiful day. I know, Dana, where you are in the world, and who else? Jen from Manila. It's not Memorial Day there, but it is here in the U.S. So to everyone who's celebrating Memorial Day, have a happy holiday weekend. It is the unofficial kickoff to summer here in the U.S. I know on the flip side of the world, it's the start of winter. But I guess that's it for now. Okay. Have a good week, everybody, and I will see y'all soon. Last comment. I'm definitely going to do that, especially my dad. He's been gone for 34 years. Oh, yeah, sharing with a loved one. Fantastic. All right, my friends, have a great week. I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody.